These are obviously not 100% in our control. We can influence them, but they involve other people. Even if you are in business for yourself, there's still buyers and suppliers, right? So this is where things can go awry, and this is why I talk about forgiveness, because you can have this locked in. You can be 100% bad day of a bad week, I got it. But a certain kind of relationship takes you off kilter, and now you're going down this rabbit hole that you didn't mean to go down. And the reason this is so important is because anxiety spirals definitely feel like you're out of control. They definitely feel like someone else is running the ship, driving the ship, and you're just along for the ride. And I would say, this is just an observation and working with many people, is that sometimes people don't want to go after that real goal, will go after that real purpose because they've been hurt or they've anxiety spiraled in such a way, and that's such a painful experience, and the fallout is so large that they don't ever want to do that again. And so they resist crossing that line into the next level of difficulty. They just believe that they're not capable. It's just who I am. And what I'll show you today is why that's not true and why you don't have to accept it. That's part of this 4 pillars of self-mastery, is that you have to let go of the past. Another thing that keeps people back is that, and it's similar, is that in order to get to second base, you have to leave first, using a baseball metaphor. And first base includes baggage that people don't want to let go of. You've got to let go of that baggage. And now, what's interesting is for years, I looked at patterns. I try to look for what is present for these people who've had certain successes. And one of the things that showed up often was that they lost everything. One could believe that you have to lose everything in order to be successful, and it's not true. What you have to do is let go of the baggage and let go of the paradigms and let go of the beliefs that don't serve you at the next level. You can't take that stuff to the next level. As another way of saying that the problems you got yourself into, that level of thinking is not adequate to get to that next level. It's a similar concept. Now, this financial is the 7th. So you have mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, relationship, professional, and the financial is the 7th. But I also put outcome, because financial is often not the end. Financial is a means to the end. And too often people get caught up in the goal of financial, and it's a moving target. And next thing you know, people just get down this path of greed, corruption, or whatever, just because they're trying to fill that void that they're calling financial, but it's really something deeper. So we have to ask that question, why, multiple times to understand what that outcome is. And when I work with the person, I always start with purpose. What's a purpose? And people don't always have a facility to come up with what's their purpose. But what I do is I use a proxy for purpose, and that serves us to get through here. And once we do a few laps of this and they start getting some agency and they're able to question their own perceptions and meaning and check it, not to question it to just be off balance, but to just make sure that they're moving through with the right perception and perspective. And once they have this agency and then they have this, it's easier for them to start looking at what's my purpose, because they believe it's achievable. It doesn't have all these things attached to it, or this pain, etc. So that's knowledge. That comes into knowledge, because we start with the 7 performance areas. That's to give us a common language, because I also use it as a diagnostic tool. It's a diagnostic tool for me to see where's the weak link. But because I have a common language with the client, we can talk about it from that perspective.